Hi, my name is Paul Sutton, and I'm a co-founder at eyko. I'd like to welcome you to the next in a series of webinars where we talk about the merits of next-generation reporting and analytics tools for JD Edwards and other systems. The purpose of this webinar is really just to take you through what we believe are the fundamental tenets of a next-generation reporting and analytics platform. As JD Edwards users, you'll be more than happy with your existing reporting tools. But the challenge for lots of organizations now as they move forward is, what do they do when they want to report over multiple systems? Business data is now spread across a wide range of disconnected systems. Not all your data lives in your ERP system anymore. The goal of eyko is to enable you to blend data together from multiple systems and to enable you to build your own reports and dashboards as if all the data lived in a single system. So the idea of this webinar is really just to educate you on where the options are, let's say, for people as we go forward. So what is a next generation reporting platform? So in our mind, a next generation reporting platform has a number of key tenets. The first thing is it needs to be able to report over multiple sources. As we said earlier, data now lives in a range of disconnected systems. Not all your data lives in an ERP system anymore. The challenge is how you pull that data together for reporting and analytics. The next thing, though, is when we look at how people currently provide their reporting solutions, you have a wide range of requirements within your user community. Some people will want tabular type reporting, as they currently do with ad hoc inquiry, etc., etc. Some people will want to work in Excel and be able to pivot the data. Some people will want to build Power BI type dashboards so they can deliver analytics. As it currently stands for lots of companies, these are independent systems, all creating their own independent silos and creating reconciliation challenges that exist. So in our mind, in our view going forward, a next generation platform needs to be able to combine all this capability in a single system. The other thing that's important for users is, particularly around the complexity of JD Edwards, is that JD Edwards comes with its own idiosyncrasies, Julian dates, decimal shiftings, lookups, and joins. So the next generation platform needs to enable people to be able to build their own reports and dashboards without having to be an expert, let's say, in JD Edwards. eyko's approach to this is to come with what we call application intelligence. So we built in the JD Edwards smarts into the eyko platform. So the user doesn't need to know JD Edwards, doesn't need to know table names, lookups, joins, all that sort of stuff. We believe this is a fundamental tenet, let's say, of a next generation platform. And then finally is, how do you leverage AI, right? So you need AI for cleaning and organizing data from multiple systems for sure. But we also believe, let's say, with AI, you now have the ability to be able to get information out of a system without having to write a report. You might have previously heard us say that reporting is dead, and obviously we don't mean reporting is dead. What we mean is the need to write a report in order to get information out of a system. Yeah, you no longer need to do that, right? So in our mind, when you combine all these capabilities into a single platform, and you give the ability for people to be able to ask questions and get answers back without having to build reports, I think we achieve the ultimate goal in the top right-hand corner, is to make it so easy that end users can answer their own questions and get their own data out of multiple systems without needing to be a technical expert. So the eyko platform is a single platform that sits between your back-end systems and your front-end applications, enables you to connect to any data sources, cloud, on-premise, external information services, be able to bring that data onto the platform, be able to clean it, enrich it, add new dimensions, add new calculations, and then to be able to stream that data into our own reporting and analytics capability, but also into other applications like ClickView, Tableau, Power BI, business planning systems, Snowflake, etc., for people to be able to build their own reports and dashboards and insights. How do people currently solve the problem? Well, lots of large companies will go and build a data warehouse. We know that data warehouses are expensive, they're complex to manage and maintain. We think they're overkill if your requirement is to do multi-data source reporting and analytics. A data warehouse isn't designed to give you the operational and the transactional type reporting that people need from these systems. So while there might be many reasons to build a data warehouse, we don't believe multi-data source reporting and analytics is a requirement. The next option for other people will be to go and build, let's say, do incredible gymnastics in Excel. Excel, million rows, so you can handle quite a large volume of data. It tends to be manual. It tends to be error prone, and really struggles. It does struggle with large volumes. Let's say when you want to maybe drill down from balances to transactions to document types, et cetera, right? But it is an option for people with their skills in pivot tables and lookups to be able to try and stitch data together to Excel. We just don't feel that approach is a scalable enterprise solution for lots of people. Some of the more technical customers will maybe go build a custom solution. They'll go buy an ETL tool to take data out of a system. They'll buy a data preparation tool to get the data in the right shape. They'll buy a data visualization tool in order to be able to visualize it, and they might buy a data streaming tool in order to be able to go stream the data into other applications. Again, our view would be no need to build a custom solution now that eyko is available in the market. And then finally, and probably more prevalently at the moment, is you've got lots of people who are trying to maybe put a data visualization layer over, let's say, a combination of systems. And while it is possible to build reports and dashboards, let's say over JDE Edwards, in a data visualization tool, providing that the person who's using it understands the structures and the idiosyncrasies of the system, it becomes exponentially more difficult as you want to maybe build reports and dashboards over Salesforce and JDE Edwards and maybe other systems within your organization. Some of these data visualization tools struggle, let's say, with the ability to be able to have multiple live connections to available in a single dashboard. So if I want to build a dashboard that's live data from multiple systems, it starts to become hard to do. Some of these tools also have limitations in how they deliver pixel perfect type reporting, build hierarchies, support security, et cetera, et cetera. So these are typically the options that people would take. eyko, as I say, is a single platform, so people don't have to learn multiple tools. Gives you the ability to connect any systems, bring the data in, clean it, enrich it, put the data in a stream, build your own reports and dashboards, let's say, and enable people to be able to answer their own questions around that data. So maybe now I'm just going to flip over and move into, let's say, a presentation of the software. So I'm actually going to start, let's say, at the back, let's say, with what we call the designer type process, right? So eyko comes with 3 different user types within the platform, but here I'm a designer, and think about a design as a data project, and this is quite a busy screen here. But one of the things that you need to prove, let's say, as a next generation platform is your ability to be able to handle multi-data source. So here in this design, I'm pulling data from an AdventureWorks ERP system. I'm pulling data from Excel. Lots of people have got lots of data sitting in Excel around the place. We give you the ability to load that into eyko, maybe create Excel as a database and blend it, let's say, with data from other systems. I've got JDE Edwards and I've got Salesforce. So how easy is it to connect to various different systems? So if I just click here on Salesforce, I come in here, I give it a name, I give it a description, I select Salesforce from the drop down. Here we've got the ability to be able to support, lots and lots of different connectors for various different systems. And then the ability to be able to come in and just sort of, once we detected Salesforce, realize, well, Salesforce requires these credentials here in the second box in order to be able to go connect to the system. If I come up here, let's say, and look at, let's say, JDE Edwards, in this example here, it's running on a SQL Server database on Azure. I have a different set of credentials in order to be able to go connect to it. And then maybe if I wanted to just add a new one, let's say in this example here, and I just give it a name. Maybe select from the drop down. Let's say here NetSuite. NetSuite is I just need an account ID in order to be able to go to connect. So first key tenant, let's say, ability to be able to connect to multiple systems and to be able to, really easy for users to be able to go and establish those connections and pull the data. Entities in our mind then is what data do you want to take from those systems, right? So in this example here, if I come down here and look at, let's say, Salesforce, I'm pulling data just from my account table and my opportunity table. But I have the ability to be able to go and the ones that I haven't brought onto the platform, here's all the rest of the tables that exist, let's say, in Salesforce in order for me to be able to go and build my application. But for the purpose of this application, I'm just going to focus on these 2. The next thing I'll probably want to highlight, let's say, from a next generation key tenants perspective, is what we call this application intelligence. So this is what happens when you go and maybe load, let's say, you connect to a JD Edwards system, tables that make no sense whatsoever, field names that make no sense whatsoever. So what we have within eyko is the ability to apply data smarts. So I can come in here and I can select all the tables that are brought onto the platform. Yeah, I'm going to apply my smarts, and I'm going to just move my camera here and press save and close. And what eyko's now going to do is eyko's going to go out and sort out all the table names, going to sort out all the field names, going to sort out all the Julian dates, going to sort out the decimal shifting, going to sort out the lookups, and going to sort out the joins. So now as a user, right, I have a system that's designed specifically for JD Edwards. This data starts to become more manageable and more usable from a user perspective, right? So again, a key tenet, you'll have lots of generic tools in the market. They make no attempt to understand the structure of the data that they're trying to connect to. They can connect to anything. They just don't spend any time trying to understand the structure of that data. So that means that your user needs to be an expert in those systems to build anything of value. We take that effectively away, let's say, from a user point of view. Last thing I maybe want to show you is how you can potentially then use or leverage, let's say, AI machine learning in how you maybe clean data. So customers always underestimate how dirty their data is. And sometimes you'll have systems where the data is clean within the system, but not clean across the system. So the company name in the CRM system doesn't tie up to the invoice name, let's say, in the ERP system. They need to tie up in order to get the data right, et cetera, et cetera. So in that context here, it can be quite an exhaustive process, particularly when you're thinking about the scale and the volume of data that would typically be processed in a next generation platform. So here in this example here, this is an example here where we can come in, maybe view, let's say I've got some contact data that I've brought onto the platform. Here's what it looks like when it comes onto the platform. I've got issues with uppercase here. I've got issues with city code, state code, zip code being incorrect. I press my data smarts button. Anywhere you see a magic wand, this is where eyko has applied its application intelligence in order to clean up the data so the user doesn't need to do it. And this is what it converts it into. So it converts it into, let's say, usable, sorted out the uppercase, let's say sorted out the zip codes, sorted out the state codes. It gives you the ability to do a before and after picture. It gives you also the ability to be able to go and look at, let's say, all the changes that have taken place on the data, so you can actually see how dirty the data is. Last thing I want to sort of talk to about, let's say, as the capabilities of a next generation platform is really in the area of what we call write time, right? So some tools will give you the ability to report directly over, run SQL statements over a production database in an attempt to give you real-time type information. They broadly work. The problems with some of those technologies is that they have an impact, let's say, on performance, etc. So what we mean by write time is the ability to be able to go and pull the data in at whatever frequency, let's say, you want to, right? So for customers who need real time, we can switch on CDC, and that will give them a real-time view of the information within the reporting and analytics capability. For other users, let's say they don't need the data that often, so you give you the ability to define how often you want to refresh that data onto the platform. So again, excuse me, we see, let's say, this ability for write time to be a key tenet, let's say, of a next generation platform. While I'm here on this screen, and I'll just finish it out, assets is broadly where you come and give you the ability to do the enrichment, where you want to add new calculations, add new dimensions, create new classifications, build new hierarchies, build new data structures that don't exist in the source systems, and then you come to blend it all together. And then to finish the process, let's say from an eyko perspective, you just come over here, let's say, and you come in and you take whatever data you want from the various different systems, what assets, what blends, and put the data into a stream. And then you have, if you think about it, a curated data set that blends data together from a number of different systems and puts the data into the stream. So the challenge then becomes, well, I have my data in the stream. Yeah, what can I do with that data? So the first thing that you can do is you can come in here and you can activate, let's say, the eyko Copilot. Yeah, and here I'm getting a selection of activate the eyko Excel plugin, sorry, not the Copilot at this stage. Yeah, and here I get to see a list of all the streams that are available, let's say, to me in this application. And I'm just going to go and pick, let's say ZDemo. ZDemo is a combination of ERP and CRM data in a single place. So I'm going to go and ask for a customer blend, and a customer blend is a list of all my customers that exist in my two different systems. I'm going to pull my total due from my ERP system, and I'm going to come up here and pull my expected revenue from my CRM system. And I'm just going to press play. And here we're going to pull the data from the stream, let's say, into my spreadsheet. I've got a list of all my customers on the left-hand side, what was in my ERP system in red, what's in my CRM system in green. You'll see I've got master data management challenges here. I've got duplication in names in the different systems. They're not spelled correctly, etc., etc. I can come back into eyko and I can say, well, I don't want to use a customer blend. I've asked eyko to create a customer master list. I want to come in here maybe and do a system reconciliation. I want to change the sequence. I want to put customer up there, and I want to press play. And now I've got a consolidated, clean customer master list across two different systems, my ERP numbers, my CRM system numbers, system reconciliation, clearly for this action bike specialist and all the things that have rolled up into it. I've got maybe something in my ERP system or something in my CRM system that I've sold that I haven't invoiced in my ERP system. So again, there, that first example of how, let's say, as a user, you can come in, let's say, and be able to build, play with the data. It's a curated data set. It's in a stream. But the users who want to work in Excel can work off that data set. A next generation platform shouldn't really care about what tool the user wants to work in. What it should care about is everybody's working off the same data. So for the people who want to come and work with their own within Excel, a platform needs to be able to give them that ability to do that. I jump, let's say, back over here, let's say, and come into eyko. The next thing that people might want to do is to be able to sort of go and build, let's say, their own reports and dashboards, let's say, over various different systems. So here in this example here, I'm going to come in and I'm going to go into and I'm going to become a viewer user in this example here. So a viewer user is somebody who really doesn't want to build their own reports or dashboards. They just want to play, let's say, with whatever is available. And here, in helping people understand, let's say, the true power of a multi-data source type system, here's an example, let's say, as to how you can maybe visualize this data across a range of individual or different systems. So here in this example here, I'm pulling data, let's say, from a range of different ERP systems. In this here, I'm looking at a customer list, at a summary level. I have in column 1 what was in my ERP system, in column 2 what's in my Salesforce system, HubSpot, Jira, Shopify, Toggle. I'm looking at it at a summary level. I have the transactions from the various different systems in the tabs across the bottom, right? So I have the ability to be able to go look at the various different things. If I want to, I can come in here and I can drill down in Journey Sports Goods, and I can see that the number in my ERP system ties up, 318 ties up down here. I can come and see I've got a 100K opportunity, let's say, in Salesforce. It ties in there. I can come, let's say, in HubSpot, and I can see I've got this marketing activity going on to that one customer. And if I come, let's say, to Jira, I have the ability to be able to come in and let's say, see, here's my help desk tickets that I've got a problem with, let's say, a couple of high priority issues. Might want to need to get that sorted out, let's say, before I go and maybe sort out for a customer. So the ability for people to be able to come in and see that multi-data source pull together in a 360 view of their business across whatever range of systems, let's say, again, a tenant of a next generation platform. People have multiple single source reporting tools. The challenge really for them is what do you do when you want to report over multiple systems? The next thing I want to touch on, let's say, is if I come down here and maybe look at, let's say, my sales reporting dashboard, again, a key tenet, let's say, of a next generation platform is that self-service type of capability. So here in this example here, it's going to give me the ability to build I'm just going to show you a typical, let's say, sales dashboard that you would typically expect to see. Number of different filters across the top, a couple of metrics, a grid with the ability to drill down, a map to be able to click on it. Reason I'm showing you this is that I'm now going to sort of switch over, let's say, from a viewer user to a creator user. And I'm going to just go and create, let's say, this new dashboard. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to hit add, going to press my start, I'm going to give it a name. Two things I need to do here, let's say, very simply, I come in and say, what stream do I want to pull it from? Yeah. And what presentation template do I want to use, right? So the benefit of the stream is the user doesn't need to understand, what systems are connected, what tables, what fields. That all gets put as part of the design process into a stream. So they just need to know what stream they want to work with. And then here, they just need to sort of select whatever presentation template they want to use, right? And then that gives them the ability to go. So now what eyko is going to do is eyko is going to go off and going to pull the data from the stream into my application, going to pull the blank presentation template, and load it into my application, so that the user then doesn't need to be an expert in Power BI in order to do it, and the user doesn't need to be an expert in the systems in order to be able to do it, right? eyko is built using embedded Power BI. The reason that we did that was that we actually don't think Power BI is an end user tool. Yeah, we think it's too complicated. When people look at it, they see it, they get frightened with it, they think it's a technical type tool. By using embedded, it gives us the ability to hide some of the Power BI type functionality. So the user is using Power BI, but they don't even know they're using it, right? So here in this example here, what do I want to put in slicer one? And I just want to pick, let's say, customer name. What I want to put in slicer two, I want to put item name. What do I want to put, let's say, and I can just, and immediately I'm starting to pull it in, and I'm getting to see as I go. And all I'm really doing is pulling the elements from the stream here on the left-hand side, but maybe over here on the map, I want to plot my country. Yeah. And I want to go and I want to price is a proxy for revenue in my demo database. So I'm going to load extended price, and immediately that starts to fill in. And all I'm really doing in the left-hand side in this control panel is pulling the data from the stream. So, and then maybe in this chart, I want to come in and I want to have country, and then I want to drill from country down to customer name. And I want to put in my columns, I want to put price, cost, and I want to put margin. And I'll just, maybe up here, I want to put a metric, I want to put price, and I want to put margin. So really easy for the user to be able to go and pull whatever elements are from the stream. The names are all perfectly normal for them. They're not complex system names. There's the contents of my stream that are all there. I'm picking up my presentation template and I'm dropping whatever I want onto it. And then I just hit save and close. And as I say, we believe that the challenge with the next generation platform is to make it so easy anybody can do it, and to maybe move the whole concept of self-service, move the chains further down the pitch, right? So we believe here with this capability, a typical user can build their own reports and build their own dashboards without having to rely on IT in order to be able to do that, right? So that's sort of, again, another tenet, let's say, of a next generation platform. So I'm just going to save that. I haven't completed it, but you get the idea of what's involved in doing it. The last thing I want to touch on, let's say, is if I come in here to financial reporting and I want to come, let's say, to financial statements, and maybe I want to go into view mode here in this example here and focus on my financial statements. This is an example, let's say, of what we would call a pixel perfect report. So if you think about it, companies still produce their income statements and their balance sheets in Excel. And they don't do it because that's the only place they can do the data. They primarily do it in Excel because it's the only place that they can style the grid in the way they want to do it. Yeah, so then, you understand, let's say, from an income statement or a balance sheet, certain lines need a single underline, a double underline, bold, italics. What do you do when a percent in a row meets a percent in a column? You need to be able to style the grid to that level. Power BI and the data visualization tools can't do that, but because we use our own Because we use embedded, we put our own grid into eyko, which gives you the ability to be able to build your own pixel perfect reports and dashboards, let's say, inside the system. So you don't have your financial statements in one system and all your supporting information, reports and dashboards in another system. They can all be in one place. But the other thing that's sort of also important on that is how can you make it easy for people who don't want to be able to build their own reports and dashboards to get information out of the system. So here I can come in and I can activate my Copilot. eyko comes with two types of AI. It can come with chat, which gives you the ability to bring up a report or a dashboard and to be able to ask questions of it, right? So I can just here on that report, I can go, yeah, what are the key insights, and ask that question. So in this example here, it's a chat type experience where I'm asking questions of a report, of a dashboard, of a data set, and being able to get some AI type insights back from that, let's say. And you can see here, it's given me an explanation of a range of different things. So really easy for users in that example in order to be able to do it. The other AI option we have within the eyko platform is our ability to support LLMs. And what makes that interesting from a user's perspective is that while chat gives you the ability to work over and ask questions of data that exist in a report or a dashboard, an LLM just gives you a much wider data set in order to do your analysis. So if I go into my Copilot here and activate the conversion, from an LLM perspective, you can pull obviously data in from eyko, which is blended data from multiple different systems, but you can also load in data that might exist in PDFs, in CSVs, various other data sources that live within your organization that maybe don't feed into an information flow from eyko. And it gives you the ability to be able to merge all that data together and ask questions of it. So here I'm going to activate my Copilot. And what we also find here is that we find that users tend to ask the same types of questions on a repeatable type basis. So every month end, they ask a series of the same range of questions. And we give you the ability to be able to store all these question and answer type sessions and just revisit them with the new data set. And you can see here, obviously, the platform supports for multiple languages. But if I go in here and look at, let's say, my customer analysis, the first question I want to ask is go and perform a regression analysis on the data to see if there's any correlation between the invoice amount and the time it takes to pay, and plot all my customers on a chart. And then after that, I ask the system to go and sort of, can you give me and plot, let's say, my bad customers, where, we define bad as to be customers who spend, less than 50,000 with us and pay late. And then maybe categorize your customers into a whole range of artifacts, or so it gives you the ability to be able to sort of classify the customers into archetypes, let's say. So in that context there, what's interesting around the LLM capability, as I say, the whole idea is for people to be able to come in, ask questions, get answers without necessarily having to write a report. Chat supports, let's say, over a report or a dashboard, and then obviously our assistant capability gives you the ability to be able to do it over much larger data sets within an LLM. So I'm just conscious of the time, just to wrap up. So what I want to do is just quickly drop back here to summarize. So hopefully what we've shown you is what we call the basis of the key characteristics of a next generation platform. The first one is the ability to be able to report over multiple data sets. Customers' data is now fragmented across a wide range of systems. Single source reporting tools won't give you what you need. Your business now needs the ability to access data from multiple systems in order to be able to do it. The second thing is the ability to be able to meet the needs of the entire organization, right? You will have users who will still want to produce tabular reports. You'll have users who want to work in Excel, people who want KPI type dashboards, and you'll even have users who just don't want to write a report at all. They want to come in and ask a question and get an answer back without being able to do it. Mostly today, people solve this problem by a collection of tools. We believe a next generation platform needs to give you the ability to be able to do that in a single platform, not in a collection of tools. The other thing that's sort of important from our perspective is what we call the application smarts. The users don't need to know and don't need to understand the systems that they need to pull data from. JD Edwards is a complex system. You need to be an expert in Julian dates and decimal shifting in order to get data that makes any sense out of it. So our goal here with our application intelligence is not only does it make users easy for users to be able to understand the data that they connect to, but we also think that application intelligence is very important in order to get the right AI type answers back. If you put, let's say, AI over, let's say, a standard JDE Edwards table, it's going to struggle to understand the structure, let's say, of an ERP system. eyko's ability to be able to apply its application intelligence and a metadata layer, let's say, to the data just reduces the chances of AI hallucinating and coming back with the wrong answers. So we think a combination of, let's say, the ability to report over multiple systems, the ability to meet the needs of the entire organization, the ability to understand the systems that you connect to, all delivered in a single platform is key, let's say, to achieve what is the ultimate goal. Can we make it easy for non-technical users to go and build their own reports and dashboards over any combination of systems? And our feeling is that unless your reporting solution have these sort of characteristics, you're going to struggle in order to be able to do it. So in summary, lots of people on this call may probably run a JDE Edwards reporting tool. The products in the market are really very good around single source reporting. But if you are reaching a point in time whereby you're maybe starting to feel that you might have outgrown that system and you need some AI type capability, or you need enhanced analytics, or you need to be able to report over multiple systems, we would encourage you to consider a next generation reporting platform in order to do it. Moving ERPs or moving reporting systems can be complex. You've got lots of data built up, lots of reports that are built up. It's not going to be painless, but probably what is important is that if you do make the choice to move, you move to something that'll future-proof you for the next couple of years, something that'll give you more than you currently have, but something that'll give you the ability to change the underlying systems and still keep your reporting and analytics solution in place. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your time. I hope you found it worthwhile. If you want to find out more, please sort of visit our website, contact us, LinkedIn and our YouTube channels. We're here to answer your questions, and we hope you found the session of worthwhile and of interest. Thank you for your time.